It's time now for a look at the latest in local news. In the news, the Georgia State Patrol is investigating a fatal traffic head-on collision which occurred on Highway 341 near Longford Road around 7 p.m. last night. No names have been released at this time, but according to reports, a two-vehicle accident occurred, which had one occupant in each vehicle. In one vehicle, a young female, and she was pronounced dead at the scene of the accident. The other vehicle, a young man, he was airlifted to a hospital in Savannah and sustained serious injuries after the accident. Once again, the Georgia State Patrol, Wayne County Sheriff's Department, have been working since the accident occurred last night, investigating it at this time. As soon as we get the full report, we'll release it. Should have an update tomorrow here on the local news. But again, that accident occurred around 7 p.m. yesterday evening on 341, right before you get to Longford Road. Both the City of Jesup Commissioners and the County Commissioners met this week, and they approved their resurfacing contracts for local road qualifying for the LMIG funding. LMIG stands for Local Maintenance and Improvement Grant. Both governing bodies accepted the low bid, which came in from Sykes Brothers, both for the county and the city. Sykes Brothers is out of Medgar, Georgia. The bid for the county was $1.65 million. City of Jesup's bid was $226,467.40. The city's bid was over $50,883 over their budget. The city approved that amount from their T-Splosh to make up the difference. Again, both contracts were voted on at the meetings this week. County met Monday, city met Tuesday, so the resurfacing of the local city and county roads should begin shortly. We'll be back with more news after this word from our sponsor of the commercial messages, so please stay tuned. In Atlanta, the Georgia Capitol on Wednesday, House Speaker David Ralston announced a plan to offer free Georgia ID cards that could be used for voting, opening up bank accounts, and traveling on airlines. The ID cards would help voters comply with absentee voting identification requirements, including the election overhaul legislation that passed the House on Monday. Under House Bill 531, voters requesting an absentee ballot would need to provide a driver's license number, a state ID number, or a copy of other identifying documents. Ralston says he's committed to eliminating barriers to voting for all legally eligible Georgians. This is just another effort to make our elections more secure and accessible. He says, but other state officials say the new ID card simply isn't necessary. They state free voter identification cards issued by the Department of Driver Services already include security features that comply with federal government's real ID standards required when going through an airport security or opening up a checking account. That, according to the department. Deputy Secretary of State Jordan Fudge says since this has been established practice for more than 10 years, of course we support this. In addition, registered voters who lack the documentation required by the Department of Driver Services can obtain a free voter ID card from their county election office. About 97% of Georgia residents have an official driver's license or state ID on file with the Secretary of State's office. That leaves over 200,000 voters in the state without a valid ID number. Voters without a driver's license or state ID would need to submit a copy of identifying documents such as a recent utility bill or government check to request an absentee ballot. Representative Todd Jones of Cumming, Georgia, says they're doing all they can to make it accessible. He says this way we're encouraging participation in Georgia elections. But voting rights organizations criticizing the proposed absentee ID requirements, saying they would discourage voting among Georgians who lack a driver's license. The voting rights group Fair Fight released a statement saying, quote, this is an excuse to pass Georgia Republicans' voter suppression bill. It's simply an attempt to justify discriminatory voter ID provisions. Reminder that on Friday's world-famous Butch and Bob show, our special guest will be our District Attorney Keith Higgins. He's been in office now for a little over 2 months. The jury trial is still on hold, that from the higher courts due to COVID-19, but we look forward to having the District Attorney on the show. He represents the Brunswick Judicial Circuit, which includes Wayne County, Appleton County, Jeff Davis, Glenn County, and Camden County. Hope to get an update from him on the GBI report that's been completed into the allegations against former Police Chief Mike Lane. District Attorney says he and his office are reviewing that report, but no decision has been made as of yet whether or not the District Attorney will file criminal charges against Mike Lane. Hopefully we can get an update where that stands tomorrow on the show. Meanwhile, the former Chief of Police has requested a grievance hearing that's been set up for a week from Monday, March 15th. 3 former female police officers who worked for Lane have filed a lawsuit against the City of Jesup, against Mike Lane, and against City Manager Mike Deal. 2 of those female officers are now employed by the Wayne County Sheriff's Department. At Tuesday's City Commissioners meeting, commissioners met in another lengthy executive session, saying it was a legal issue, but after the commission came back to regular session, they announced that no action was taken. And WIFO continues to follow these stories as they develop. But a reminder, once again, our special guest tomorrow on the world-famous Butch and Bob show, our District Attorney Keith Higgins. First interview with us since he's been elected new District Attorney for the circuit, and that's tomorrow at 8 a.m. right here on Big Dog Country, FM 105.5. We'll come back with some final news notes after this word from our sponsor or the commercial messages, so please stay tuned. Final notes in the news, the Georgia Rural Hospital Tax Program, Georgia Heart awarded 14 hospitals a total of $140,000 through a donation made by Wyndham Brandon. Funds were designated specifically to help rural facilities across the state. Wayne Memorial Hospital, one of the 14 hospitals to receive the funding. Daniel Epps of Wyndham Brandon says today, more than ever, rural hospitals are strongholds in their communities. They conveniently provide much needed care, yet too many struggle financially. He says there are nearly 2,000 rural hospitals in the U.S., including about 60 here in the state of Georgia, that serve large parts of our population. Epps says it's vital that they remain profitable so they can continue to provide much-needed services to those in their respective communities. In the Wayne Memorial Hospital, one of the 14 hospitals that received the funding from Wyndham Brandon. Wayne County School System is joining in a statewide celebration to celebrate School Board's Appreciation Week. That's going to take place the week of 15th to the 19th of March. It's proclaimed School Board Appreciation Week in the state of Georgia, and the week-long observation calls attention to the contribution of local boards of education. Dr. Jay Brinson, school superintendent, says citizens elect board members to represent the community's voice on education matters and to set the vision for the school district. It says our board spends countless hours fulfilling its responsibilities and working together to continually improve our education system. Again, the school boards consist of Chairman Nick Ellis, District 5, Vice Chairman Joe McPipkin, District 1, Bruce Harris, District 2, Ray Davison, District 3, Sharon Daniel, District 4. And the Georgia School Board Association sponsors the celebration. Again, the week is March 15th through the 19th. That's going to do it for the latest in local news. Sports comes your way in a few minutes. Bob Morgan said, have a great day.